Hello and welcome to Dave the Suit Betting. Well, yesterday's selection, Hercules, put out on this channel at 14 to 1, the only selection. Some people managed to get 16 to 1 and it SP'd at 11 to 1. Let's watch the finish of that race again.
By Hercules staying on towards the outside in the beige with a white face. Out in the lead, it is still holding them on. Zarathos, a barging match between Hot Dancer and Man of La Mancha, who's now got the run. Hercules, however, has the momentum. And it's Hercules on the outside of Zarathos. Man of La Mancha back in third place as they enter the final furlong. Hercules, Zarathos not lying down, and Man of La Mancha trying to rally onto the run to the line. It's Hercules still there on the inside, Zarathos battling back.
This is a fine-looking horse, Hercules, whether he's won or not. He is a good-looking horse. He's number 5. Here we go. He has won.
Well, I don't know if my pacemaker could take that, because in real time, when they went past that line, I actually thought it was beaten. I was cursing the jockey for getting it boxed in a little bit on the bend, and he just managed to get there on the nod. So we've all won a few quid. Some people, they like to spend their money on drugs, apparently, according to the comments section, drink and loose women. But let's remember the first Ferengi rule of acquisition.
Once you have their money, you never give it back.
Exactly.
On Saturday, I put an 11 to 2 shot out. Only the one horse, and it won. 3 people disliked that video. Yesterday, obviously, one selection at 14 to 1, and it won. One person didn't like that video.
Did you ever notice that? How many really stupid people you run into during the day? Really fucking stupid. Did you ever notice that? God damn, there's a lot of stupid bastards walking around.
It just goes to show you can't please everyone. So, on to today's racing. Let's have a look at the race that I've gone through with a fine tooth comb. Here it is. Race I've gone through with a fine tooth comb, or 2. 3 o'clock at air over 6 furlongs, and it's good to firm ground. We've got 9 runners. The favourite is Woohoo. We've got King of the Jungle, Travis, South Shore, 6 Core, Henry Hawk, Harry Tor, Thunderstorm. Some big prices today. Some big prices. So let me show you one that I spotted a couple of runs back. I'm going to show you 3 replays. Here's the first one at Newcastle in the fog. Then it's coming out of the 1 stall. This is at Newcastle on the all-weather over 5 furlongs. It's in the black and white colours. Now it comes out so-so, but stall 1 at Newcastle is not where you want to be. You want to be right over here. So look, the jockey pulls it across and left on a wing on the wide outside. You don't want to be there. You want to be here. So it's at the back, some way off. There we go, just giving them, in a blurry freeze frame, about 7 lengths. So all these here are rowing along, massive line of horses, and the jockey is just motionless. Actually going backwards. Now she starts rowing along. This is Joanna Mason. She starts rowing along a little bit, but there's nowhere for her to go. So here's the horse, just pushing it along. These are all whip. Look at the whip out here. Whip, whip, whip. No magic wand. She's turned up without hers. Look at this. Look at this. And it's just going through, beating horses. He got beat 2 3/4 lengths that day. So that was at Newcastle. It was drawn badly in 1. You don't want to be drawn 1. You've got to come right across the track. He was out on a wing. and she didn't do a lot with the horse, Joanna Mason. Let's have a look at its next race. This is the one that went in my notebook at Pontefract, again over 5 furlongs, and Joanna Mason, the snail out the stalls, was on it once again. Pontefract, drawn 4, different colours. This is the one, number 1. Joanna Mason's on it yet again. Joanna, the snail Mason, because she just doesn't seem bothered about getting out of the stalls. There she is. She brings it around, lets every horse get in front of her. She's not bothered. A little bit squeezed out, maybe. In fact, quite a lot squeezed out. She's 4 off the rail as they come to the bend at Pontefract. Now she takes a weird, she tries to move the horse to the outside. She's completely crowded. And I mean, what's she doing here? You come into a bend and you're now 5 off the rail, but you've got horses that are just forcing you to go to the back. Now she's going to go wide round this bend. It's not a good place to be. Look at this. What's this? 5, 6 off the rail. You're going wide at Ponty? No. So she decides to tug it in at the rear. Coming round the bend. Let's just give them, 8 start? Joanne the Snail Mason. Now she comes down the outside. Now this is the thing that it went in my notebook for. She never hits the horse. Just pushing it along. La-di-da-di-da. La-di-da-di-da. And these get away. Half furlong. There she is. Not bothered. Just pushing along. And I'm not going to show you the rest of the race because we don't see the horse until it goes past the line. So she did nothing with the horse. He got crowded out. She was too slow out the stalls. It wasn't a half bad draw either, but she didn't use the horse's pace. She got crowded out. She went wide round the bends, and that was it. The race was over, and she just brought the horse home in its own time. Let's have a look at its last run. This is at Beverley, over 5 furlongs again, this time with a proper jockey on. He's not that great, but he's better than Joanna Mason, James Sullivan. Let's have a look at the race. The race at Beverley, over 5 furlongs. It's coming out of the 4 box, and it's in the purple, bluey purple and red colours. Watch it as they come out the stalls. It's slightly, just comes out a little bit awkward. But what I want you to see here now, a horse comes across here. This one comes across here. And it's the meat in the sandwich. Watch, comes out. It just fly jumped at the start there. They're coming across and they're going to murder it on purpose. Maybe. There we go. Completely murdered. Squeezed out at the back. That goes to the rail. Okay, so 2, 3 off the rail. Just there. So we've reached the dog leg at Beverley, where the round course meets the straight sprint course, and it's just completely surrounded. And there's lots of horses in the similar colours. So just coming to the 1 furlong pole, the horse has just been left to its own devices, and then kind of runs up the back end of this horse and has to jinx a little bit left. The jockey pulls the whip through, doesn't do anything with it. One crack there. There we have a crack. We're inside the 1 furlong. And again, it keeps running the back end of this horse here. Half furlong. He's just waving the whip. Now it's it again there. And it stays on. It's more or less stopped riding it. This horse is leaning on him. He just lets the horse come home in its own time. They're staying on quite well without a lot of pressure. Not that far off the winner. That was 5 furlongs at Beverley. So there it was. It got absolutely crucified when it came out the stalls. It stayed on really well there for not too much pressure. The horse was crying out for 6 furlongs. And to date's got the 6 furlongs. Let's look at the form of some of the others. So Woohoo won very well last time out at Hamilton. Same jockey, same £7 claimer. It beat not very good horses, but it won readily. And it escapes a penalty because it was an apprentice handicap. King of the Jungle. I'll tell you about King of the Jungle. King of the Jungle likes good to soft ground. It's won on good to soft, heavy, won on the all-weather, and its best positions have been on soft and good to soft. And arguably, it's better over 5 furlongs, but it has won at 6. Travis, 4-year-old, ridden by Dave Allen, won 1 out of 12. That was at Pontefract. A better race than this as a 3-year-old. Got to be feared a little bit. But it's strike race, nothing to shout at home about. South Shore. Let me show you this. Joanna, the Snail Mason, rode it the 2 I showed you initially, and then we had James Sullivan on it at Beverley, where it wasn't trying maybe as much as it might have. And its win was at 6 furlong at Windsor as a 3-year-old in a much better race than this. Now, if you look at the horse, it's a typical Ruth Core horse. Came from Carl Burke's, bit of a cast-off if you like. It was rated 80. Now, it won at Windsor, and then they tried it at Newmarket in a Class 2. Now, James's Delight is actually a group horse. And it also beat it at Pontefract. Now, she got it. It was rated 80. When she received the horse, it was rated 99. They always drop it a pound after a break. And she's managed to get it down. It's a typical Ruth Car horse. Now running off 60. And in each of these races, it's been crying out for 6 furlongs. It really has. Now, some people say, but it ran over 6 at Newcastle here. Indeed it did. That was its first run after 152 days, and it doesn't win on the all-weather. This was the run at Beverley. The winner was rated 72, the second was rated 72. Now it finished 7th. It was only beaten 2.5 lengths. James Sullivan, tenderly ridden, I would argue. Now it says held up in rear. They never mentioned the fact that it got squeezed out at the start. And here's one that I am scared of. 6 Core. It's a 7-year-old now. But look at this. 2 dozen runs at AYR. And it is a course and distance winner over the 6. Arguably it's better over 5. But it has won in better class off a higher mark. So it's won off 57 a couple of times. Got it back down to a nice manageable 51. But again, I have a feeling that the horse, good to soft, good to soft. Now it has won on good to firm, just the once. That was off 46. There is a feeling that it needs a tad of cut, maybe. So there are dangers in the race. Obviously, the favourite's a little bit short for what it's done. Won an apprentice race, got the same apprentice on today. But I'm quite happy to put out South Shore at 3 o'clock at AYR, 6-1 each way. This is Dave the Suit. Fingers crossed, we have another juicy winner. Bye for now.